Maybe. Hey, welcome everybody. It is week 3, and not week 3. It is I'm messing up already. It is episode 3 of the Planet Podcast, and I am your host, Tiffany Stevens, aka Black Mamba 1981, and we are back for another week of exciting topics. I think I'm actually kind of geek for this week. And I have my usual suspects of cast. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the introductions, and then we'll move on to our first topic. So Jensen, you're up.
All right, back again. They always say the best is for last, but the best is for first in this case.
Wow.
So,
Dang.
So
hey,
humble.
I'm here. You know, the main event, the game changer, HBK, without the
Main
long hair.
event?
That's me. Appreciate y'all having me back.
Dang, he just like in his intro, he just like shitting on y'all.
That's
That's
all right.
crazy.
That's all right. Hello, my name is Cassio from Cassio Logic. Thank you all. I'm actually very, very happy to be here on the extraordinary journey with my black nerds. So I'm very happy, what I'm saying, to be here. So yeah, Cassio from Cassio Logic. Thank you all for having me.
All right.
And hello, everyone. This is your boy Kyle, aka the Fallen Marvel, back again with everybody and chopping it up. And we get into some really interesting topics this evening. So, hello, everyone.
Cool, Terry.
I thought I wasn't sure if he was done. Okay, well, hey, hi, hi, all my heroes of justice and magical girls. It's Toku Terry once again. I'm still here. I'm still a mod in Ebjon. I'm still running Terrence's Toku Time. I am still watching Tokusatsu, which is still the most insane thing I've ever seen. Every time you think you're used to the weirdness, something else happens.
It's always good.
We're all weird. So I mean, Jensen dyed his hair blonde. I eat the folded chips in the bag first. You know, I
Hmm.
mean, that's just what it is. So you in good company. Just didn't say that, so I guess he let me roll with that. So,
Yeah, I
okay.
let you roll with it.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first topic of the night, which is John Boyega recently made a statement where a fan had asked if he was going to, star in any future Star Wars movies that may be in development in the franchise. And John was like, hell nah, hell to the nah. He's
Hmm.
done with Star Wars. He's done with all of that, and it sounds like we ain't gonna see him in any of the movies ever. You never know. He's young. He may, appear later, but for now, he says that he's done. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you feel like that is a good move for him to make? Do you think he'll be back? I
You know
I
know
what?
everybody
mean,
here has hated
Um,
the last 3 movies of Star Wars, well, of the Skywalker legacy, I'm assuming. Um,
right.
and speaking for myself, we all know that I felt like I was duped. I felt like he was supposed to be. I thought he was going to be a Jedi. I thought he was going to be more important than he was. Like I
Hmm.
really felt like he
Yeah.
came out with the short end of the stick from the way that Lucasfilms advertised. You know what I'm saying? Him, and I did not.
Yeah.
I personally didn't care for his portrayal. Not that I don't think he's a good actor. I mean, my boy was like a janitor. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like he was a,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't that brave. Not really. You know, I think Ray was supposed to be his love interest, but it was weird and it didn't really mature into anything.
Lord have mercy.
He didn't become a Jedi like we thought, but somehow he was able
he has
to
force.
fight. Didn't he fight Kylo for like a little bit and gave
Yes,
him a little bit of a,
He did. Like,
yes.
like
he.
really it was I
Here's
just felt
the
like
issue,
he was all over the
and
place.
I think here's the issue, and I'm just going to say this, and a lot of people are going to be mad at me about this, but here's what I think: the original Star Wars movies, for all their faults in both the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy had all their faults. But one thing that you honestly believed is that from beginning to end, it was always supposed to be one story. like you cannot look at any of the first 6 movies and think this was not written to be one continuous story. With the new trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it does not feel like one continuous story. It feels like someone just brought all these characters back and were throwing darts at a dartboard to see what they could do with no actual plan of how to move on from there.
Oh, that's absolutely what happened. I don't see why
Mm,
anybody would be mad at you about that because that sounds like the absolute truth.
basically.
Yeah. So
I'm
I'm
spelling out.
sure at the very beginning they planned for Finn to be just as important as Rey. And then they just had a whole bunch of new ideas. And were like, oh, let's put this in, this and this in. But what about this plot point? We'll get back to that point in a minute, and then never get back to that plot point.
Yeah, there was a lot of like just kind of like I don't know, like storytelling acrobatics that was happening in the last 3 Star Wars movies. Like
And
I'm not
again,
even.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not even sure if like things happen based off of like crowd reaction. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think a lot of folks were like happy about the fact that Finn was a main character. You know what I'm saying?
Some people weren't.
Yeah, some folks wasn't too happy about that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Disney was like, okay, let's pull back on the black. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pull back the black. You feel me? I don't know if that's what.
China.
But remember, they were really, but then you had,
I don't know
then
if that
you
was
had a
the.
lot of men though who was upset that Ray was the focus. It's
Yeah.
like so the movies, this part of the franchise literally could not win because you had men like what Ray. Really? Why is it a woman? Why is it these feminists are ruining everything? And then with Finn, oh, a black guy? Oh, well, there are black people in Star Wars? Where? It's
I'm
like
just
this
saying,
part.
there's so much facts in what she said.
I mean, look,
There was so much facts what you said right there.
Right, it's too real right
Yeah.
now. It's too real. The tea is a little too hot. You gotta turn the temperature down on the tea.
It's like this part of the franchise literally could not win with what they were trying. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to throw that in there
That's all
because
right.
they weren't happy about Ray. Well, not they. A lot of people weren't happy about Ray being, the center as well. So it's like, but the movies, as Terrence talked about, the movies were supposed to be centered around Finn and Ray. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, they kind of diminish Finn. You can't diminish Ray. So what the,
Yeah, right. What we doing right now?
Yeah, it
It's
was
like, yeah, I really
Yeah.
felt like. I mean, I'm sure. Hopefully, all of our viewers have already seen the Last Jedi and seen all the entire
man.
trilogy or whatever. I was like, this thing that they did with Kylo Ren and Rey at the end. I'm like, nope, negative Batman. Nope.
do
That
not
ain't.
want.
Nope. There's no way. There's no way that was happening the entire time.
Yeah,
There's
no.
it's
Can
no
you
way.
explain just to give a little detail about the part you're talking about, just that listeners know and they know
Oh,
which part you're talking about.
I'm talking about this apparent love story
Mm,
between Rey
doesn't
and
work.
Kylo Ren, which makes no sense.
mm-hmm.
Sorry,
It
go ahead,
doesn't
Toku.
I know they tried to sort of like downplay it after the fact, which I thought was either more or less a cop out versus like it being an actual thing, because you kind of look at it and it's just like I don't know if this is something that should have gone down the way that it did, but it did.
Also,
But
all the unfortunate implications of a woman falling in love with the guy who's been abusing and trying to kill her for 2 movies.
Yeah, and that's kind of like another thing too. And like they claim that it wasn't a romantic kiss, even though it was. I don't know.
She kissed
how
him
other
on
way-
the lips.
I don't know
and
how
it
other way
lingered.
you're supposed to
I mean,
explain
for the
that.
record, who was the girl? Who was the girl who kissed Finn in that
Rose.
awkward
Rose.
freaking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that too, if I can, just for 1 second. I know we're
And-
kind of because
Yeah, if I can just
So-
if I can just say what I was going to say before we got sidetracked,
sorry. Go ahead.
because I'm again, I think this is a very controversial opinion, but while I do think George Lucas is not a great writer, and he needs other people to keep some of his more manic ideas in check, I will freely admit that if he wrote the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, it would at least be more clear, more steady, have better characterization, and feel like an actual continuation of the mythos instead of whatever this was. At least it would feel like it's continuing the story instead of just being there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm trying to say?
We don't disagree with that.
All
We're
right.
all on the same page about that.
Yeah, I think everyone, everyone feels the same way on that one. I wanted to say, so my issue too with the character of Finn, you know what I'm saying, and I can't blame John Boyega for also being like, yo, I'm good, I'm done with Star Wars, you know what I mean, and he's like just wants to move on to other things. It's like they just did his character all kinds of wrong, and I also believe they did the character of Rose wrong also, because I mean, even in like the second film, and they did. Oh God! Like they introduced this character Rose. This is horrible. I believe the Last Jedi should have never been created. There's no reason for that film to even be in the franchise, but that's another conversation. But you get this character Rose, you know, saying Asian American. You know what I mean? Okay, we have another person of color in the Star Wars story. That's fantastic. She kisses Finn, passes out in I guess her pod or whatever, you know, happened. Boom. Then we see her in the next film, and her and Finn act like they don't even know each other.
Right.
And again,
Trash.
that was actually because of behind the scenes things. Because the way they wrote her character, she was going to be training to become a elite pilot with Leia, but then Carrie Fisher, may she rest in peace, died. So they didn't know what to do with the character anymore. So they just kind of
They just put her in there for no, you know. But
I mean, they
there
kinda
was
had to
still
keep her.
no.
you could
I
have
mean,
just retconned
she
her.
kissed Finn. Like she
Yeah.
had a crush on Finn. Yes, I know they was going through some stuff and whatever, but she liked him. She thought he was so heroic. You know what I'm saying? And so when the third movie comes, and like you said, there was nothing. It's like, why y'all put her in the movie?
Like what?
Why
What?
y'all
I
even put
mean,
her in the movie?
it,
Like
it,
y'all could have said y'all sent her on assignment on another planet or something like that, and that's why she wasn't there. Because I mean, it was a waste. It was an absolute waste. But again, he liked Ray, and then you have Ray kind of romantically kiss Kylo. Like what? Like it was.
see,
The guy who tried to
I'll
murder her.
see,
Yeah,
like
I will never be able
I
to
will play, I will play devil's advocate with that to some degree, where they kind of threw in that whole, I keep forgetting what they called it
a
specifically,
force. It's
but
some kind of force bond. I forgot what it's called. But it's some
right.
kind of force bond.
When since they pretty much had to establish why they both had this type of connection, which I guess like only comes along like every millennia or something or whatever with force users.
Here's a crazy idea instead of the stupid force bond thing. And stop me if I'm wrong, but hey, you know how maybe the force figured out maybe having one chosen one is a bad idea and made two.
Yeah, I think that's been the theory that they
would
threw out
have
there as
been a
well.
lot better. Been like,
So,
hey, Ray,
but
you are the force created you just in case Kylo ever went crazy, so it would have a force user who could stop him because the force doesn't want another Darth Vader on its hands.
right. And it's like again, now that we and because we think about that, again, we also think about how much Finn as a character got shortchanged because of the fact that
Agreed.
you set up all this stuff in the first movie, you don't really follow up with it in the second movie, and then in the third movie, you end it with him now realizing he's he's force sensitive, and then now you don't do anything with it, and it's like you know it shortchanges his character. So it's like if it depending on what kind of story they want to do later on or whatever, they could convince him to maybe come back if they actually like do something like worthwhile with his character, because with people really like at this point, like they're infatuated with the man with the real life. I mean, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
So it's like at this point, it's like, look, do the guy some justice and make this guy more pivotal in this series that is our, you know, you slap the name Star Wars on something that's going to make money. So it's
even if it was objectively bad. And let's be honest here.
I'm coming and like I'm coming from the side that didn't necessarily hate the new movies. I didn't even necessarily hate The Last Jedi. I did have some issues, but I didn't hate the movie. I didn't hate the last one. It's definitely problematic, but I'm not one to hate it, to have vehement hate for it. But while on the topic, the thing is, like I said, with him having zero interest in coming back, it's totally understandable. And plus, like, I'm pretty sure he has a whole lot of other jobs lined up already as it is. So it's like he doesn't need Star Wars right now.
Right.
True.
And
And he actually.
I mean, he mentioned how there was a lot of creative things and stuff, I guess, that he suggested or that he wanted to do, and they kind of, you know, threw it out the window, which if I am not mistaken, not that I know John Boyega has been in obviously some other movies, but I mean, I think we can all agree that Star Wars is probably the biggest thing that has happened to him so far. Not that
I
there
would
Oh
won't be
argue.
yeah,
more.
like he
Well,
he
yeah.
himself had admitted that. Yes,
Yeah,
like
so it's like, when you kind of are somebody that's trying to make your mark, you get called in to, play in a Star Wars film, like you instantly become a part of, sci-fi history, like instantly. So,
Mhm,
right.
mhm.
Star Wars and Star Trek, and there's other franchises, as we all, I'm sure, can acknowledge, are just flat out historical if you get to be a part of them. So I'm sure, he kind of, allowed a lot of his creativity to be quelled to be able to be in these movies, but now that like you said, he doesn't really, now he kind of doesn't really need it anymore, and he's going on to do other things. And I agree with you, Kyle, in the fact that if somehow they are able to entice him back, it would have to be a hell of a role. They're going to have to listen to what he wants to do with the character creatively. I don't see
Mhm.
him coming back and still playing this disaster of a character. Like,
Right.
I don't, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Honestly,
I mean, like I said,
honestly,
John is a good actor, but there's a lot of things about, like, I mean, he was essentially kind of a coward. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
that's not how he
and
was presented
in the first
when,
movie.
we were seeing clips in the advertisement. That's not how he was presented. So I was really disappointed in what
Oh
the
no,
film did with
well,
his character.
no, it's not even that he was a coward. It's that he had no willpower. He just did what everybody told him to do. Like,
No, there were times
right.
where he actually was like, "No, I don't want to be a part of this. Let's go." He was literally trying to leave with Ray, like, "Let's
Yeah.
just leave the fight. Let's go. I don't want to do this." Trying to
but
run, and then he would have this plot hole of what was it? That plot armor of, "Oh, no, I can't leave Ray behind." The only reason he was trying to do anything was because of Ray. If he didn't have feelings for Ray, his
Mhm.
friend would have been somewhere on another planet doing something else,
yeah,
trying to
I would
keep
say,
things
in
down.
fact, okay. I know we have to leave this soon, but before we do, I do have to. If I can just have 1 minute for this rant, the best way to do the sequel trilogy is not to have a new empire. That was the first mistake they made. The
Yeah,
best
that
way to
was kind of goofy.
Yeah, the best look. The prequels did not have an empire. Like the prequels did not have an empire, and they still had villains. The best way to have done the sequel trilogy would be to have shown after the heroes won that this new generation trying to keep the peace of the New Republic. The best way would have been done if have like Finn keep him as a stormtrooper. Keep him as no. Keep him as either as the child of a stormtrooper who has all these whose father is telling him all these stories about how glorious the empire was, and he's now realizing his father was evil as he travels to as he realizes he's force sensitive and travels to discover his powers. Have the bad guys as a rising power instead of an established power. You don't have to have the villains as the ones in power every single time. That's not what makes a story great.
Right.
Sometimes stopping a rising evil is more interesting than stopping an established
Listen,
evil.
they already had a planet buster. And I'm like, how didn't the rebels see that shit? Like, y'all ain't all them
No.
ships, all them satellites, all these
Bro,
spies, and y'all didn't realize
there was a
that the
ship
enemy
the
made
size
a
of a
It wasn't
damn
even just a
planet
planet.
buster.
It wasn't even just a planet buster. It was a galaxy
Yeah.
buster.
Like
It wasn't a galaxy
it
buster. It
literally
was a
could
solar
split.
system buster
Yeah,
because
like it could split
it
planets in
absorbs
half. How
yeah.
did y'all not know? This shit was out there. Like, what y'all been doing? What y'all
Well,
been
you're right.
doing this whole time? Like, I don't get it. Like, that movie was, Lord, it was all over the
It
place.
was. It was. It was some. It was definitely some plot holes in it.
Yeah, it
Definitely,
was.
like it was. But hopefully they've learned that lesson and they're really taking cues from people that start writing like the shows and stuff. I mean, I know like Kevin Feige and John
And
Favreau are trying to have
I
some
know
pull
it's
over
not. I
there.
know.
Like the
So
Mandalorian. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
yeah,
it's not likely to happen, but Disney, DC, and Marvel has this really cool thing called continuity reboots when they mess up this bad. I'm not saying anything. I'm just throwing that out there, just letting you know as a thing that exists.
Okay.
Got you. If I could just really quick, I wanted to actually like mention a tweet that John Boyega put up a couple of days ago. If anybody has seen it, he speaks about the last Airbender, and he says that if they're ready to have benders in Africa, then let them know. So I think he's advocating for like another Airbender film and to be a part of that. So I'm just to bring it back to John Boyega and everything. I just want to
Yeah. And okay, so to summarize before we move on to our next topic, we all agree with John Boyega's decision to say screw Star Wars because they screwed his character over completely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, yeah, and even John just said that playing the same character for so many years, like as an actor, it gets boring. It gets, what I mean. So he just said, I'm not interested in just playing the same character my whole career. I want to explore other things,
Yeah, I know. He doesn't want to get typecast, but also, he wouldn't be playing the same character if they let his character develop.
Nobody wants to be what happened to Mark Hamill. Nobody wants to Mark Hamill
when he was stuck being Luke Skywalker and the Joker,
literally forever. Like except for obviously him being the voice of the Joker. And I think he was the toy master on whatever that CW.
He was the trickster.
Right. He was a trickster on the original 90s.
He has been Luke Skywalker like his entire. He's gonna die Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And
I
just think nobody wants that. What'd you say, Jensen?
But wants to be Robert Pattinson's the shiny vampire. They hold.
Yeah.
He wasn't shining, big dog. He was glistening. He had glitter in his skin. I don't know what was happening. That baby was. Man, I'm talking about. He was refracting light and all types of stuff. That's scientifically impossible.
We are not, guys.
Let's not.
How you create a whole rainbow off of your pectorals? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No.
He got that thing. He's using that thinning skin product. He's using that thing.
My bad. You right. I'm sorry. You right. Can't turn this into the Casio comedy show. You right.
Hey, that franchise was so bad on them. That's why a lot of those actors start doing B and C list movies because they didn't want to be in the spotlight no more.
Man,
isn't that what happened to Isn't that what happened to Christian Haydenson, that poor boy, after he played?
Oh, I think he played Anakin.
He played Anakin.
Yeah,
pretty much.
He's gone to do a lot of indie films since then.
That's good. I didn't know. I hadn't seen him in anything, so that's good.
So did Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson did a lot of good movies after Twilight. The problem is they're all just art house films, so a lot of people haven't heard of them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But for the record, before we move away from that subject too, no one hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. Listen to any of his interviews where he talks about it. He just hates everything about that franchise.
Hey, look, I hate it too. Look, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need 30 seconds real quick because I'm trying to tell you. Listen,
Man,
hang on, big dog. Hold up. You ain't even talk.
I agree. But go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
I appreciate you. All right. So I had to watch the whole franchise. My girlfriend wanted to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there watching this whole thing, and I know, condolences. But I'm watching the whole thing, and I got kind of into the story. I'm like, okay, cool. And I see that the final scene when they about to have war, and then all of a sudden the whole war break out, and then it's a real actual fight, and people getting their head chopped off, and this vampire is slicing people in half and stuff, and then all of a sudden you got your boy Taylor Lautner turning to the damn werewolf, and he taking the baby. Like, no, you can't take the baby. We gotta get the baby. And they start chasing, and he's running down the damn shit, and then they still fighting. Everybody still dying, and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, this is actually quite interesting. And then the next thing I know, it's a vision.
It's a vision.
The whole thing's a vision. I said, can I curse?
It was all a dream.
I said, fuck this film. Period.
Period. All a dream.
Period. Fuck this film and fuck this whole franchise. Period.
Now,
that's all I got to say.
Now, to just to throw in 5 seconds, just the 5 seconds to bash this series really quick. New Moon was trash, and I was done after that. So
okay.
If we remember the montage where her just hold up after Edward left and shit, and I'm just like,
where she was depressed and crazy as hell.
If you don't get your ass out this goddamn room.
No, remember when she got on the bike with the stranger and almost got into an accident. So because she was like, because Edward was
Bro,
psychically connected to her
man,
and that bullshit, and
never
she
in
kept
my
putting herself in
life.
danger. Like, really?
Never.
Really?
She is literally like the first time I ever wanted a character to die.
Yeah.
Like I just,
All right. Well, yeah,
but
my
we veered off the rails with this. Like I think we should just do
yeah,
ourselves a favor and move on.
Well, I guess
because
we're gonna have to have a Twilight discussion topic on
No,
another
no, we
show
don't.
because I got
no,
my
no,
phone
Yeah,
we don't.
there.
no,
if we do, it's just gonna be an hour of all of us trading jokes about how bad Twilight is.
Yep.
That's all
Yep.
it'll be. Like I'm just nah.
It's
That
will,
franchise was terrible. It was terrible.
yes, it was.
And so everybody did their little 2 cents. I'm gonna do my 2 cents really quick about it. So
I
just so
do.
y'all know,
Yeah.
there are books and stuff, like there are colleges that teach that use Twilight as a teaching tool to talk about whoops, that's my
How
little
not to
timer.
write it.
To talk about, basically about how unstable and unhealthy that relationship with Bella and Edward was because, honestly, I think she obviously she was depressed. I think she was suffering from a little bit of Stockholm syndrome because she never wanted to fucking go anywhere. Okay, the fact that he was what 300, 200 years old, 150,
Roughly,
something like
roughly.
that,
Much
and
older
she
than
was
her.
still in high school. Like she was not in her 20s. She was still in high school. She married this dude, was willing to wanting to sleep with him while she was a human, knowing that that shit was painful as hell. Okay, she literally did all of this, and it's just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like
It's
she had a problem. Like she was not emotionally stable, and
it
it was
honestly,
horrible. It was
yeah,
just horrible all the way around. It was horrible. Obviously,
yeah.
I was Team Jacob. I just want to put that out there. I know y'all don't care, but I'm the girl on the podcast. I was Team Jacob. Okay.
I was seeing. I was seeing my hope. I'm gonna make my joke because this is the only joke I've been able to make. Like everyone's talking, I haven't had a chance to make my joke. I was seeing Volturi. I wanted the Volturi to kill them all.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I was like,
that's what was supposed to happen when we learned it was a vision. Okay.
Mm.
You learned it was a vision. They
I'm
got
still,
scared.
still
And
mad
then
Remember,
you
about
learned
remember.
that Volturi
that.
wasn't nothing but punks because they got scared. He got
Mm.
scared just that
Oh
easy
no!
and
Wait a
turned
minute. Y'all remember how like so like unceremoniously like the brother got killed in the second movie?
mm-hmm.
the brother
Like
got
it was like the one black dude in there with
oh
dreads.
yes.
He was just he was just so unceremoniously killed in the second movie. He was just,
I've
just
been
became
trying to
an
forget this
afterthought.
movie for the past 8 years.
For the record, somebody brought up the comparison. We was talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, very
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
so I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
All
but
right.
let's move on. We're done. We're done with
Yeah,
Twilight.
yeah. We're moving on to the
Go
next.
ahead.
We're moving on to the next
We're
thing
gonna
now.
go ahead and roll into the next subject. We're gonna say the best for last, which is our Kanye topic. But so
Oh,
we gonna move into gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming topic. Obviously there's a whole lot of things going on in gaming right now. Obviously Last of Us 2 is still very popular. Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima dropped last Friday, and I'm not a
I'm
PlayStation
so
owner,
jealous.
but
Yeah, I'm
the
jealous.
videos and the pictures I've seen are gorgeous. Honestly, if there was a game probably that would make me want to get the console, even though I told one of my my Planet pending members that I would never get one. But if there was ever a game that would make me want to get a PS4 or games, it would probably be Ghost and Horizon Zero Dawn 2, which I know is on the horizon, obviously.
Right.
But so there's two other things that we're gonna talk about today in particular. Jensen found this one which I ain't even heard about. Okay, and I feel like I need to do some research, which is Apple is coming out with a console. What? Who?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Tempting to.
Why?
I honestly
Why?
really don't
because
know.
because their CEO was doing coke off a razor blade. I thought it would be a good idea.
Jensen, do you have details?
usually how most ideas
Well-
come to pass, but
Well, for
You
what
know
I
what would be
saw,
great?
We're in a board meeting, they all getting high. Hey, I just thought of another way we could do something because people tired of iPods.
An
Okay,
Apple
iPhones are all the
console.
same at this point. Let's come out with a console. Let's do what Google Stadia couldn't do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Apple is just run by by Snowflame from DC Comics.
So,
For
Jensen, you got
those,
the details on it?
Well, from what I could gather from Al Gore's internet, I wasn't gonna say Beyonce's internet because it's not hers.
Al Gore's is better. Al Gore sounds better.
But from what I saw, I think it to be mainly cloud based. I want to say from what
That makes sense.
from what I gathered from different articles. Now, me personally, I don't plan on getting it if it's actually true and they actually come out with it. I don't honestly see why, really. I mean, of course, people like people claim about Xbox, people claim about PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever. But I don't think it's room enough for a fourth console in this market. It's you got the big three. That's pretty much like DC, Marvel, and anime. The big three of that type of thing or manga, whatever. I don't see how Apple I think it'd be a waste. Like the PS,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a waste like the Vita.
The
Oh.
PlayStation Vita, right?
Yeah, not the PSP though.
Oh,
Those was good. Those
yeah.
was good. I'm talking about just the Vita or the
Yeah, the Vita.
PSP Go. That was a waste.
The pointless.
Now
it
I think
it was because it had a lot of potential too,
I
but
think the
it
Go came
just
out right now, like this year or something. Like in the past couple years, it did do better. But for what it was, I think they jumped the gun a little bit. Like the Wii U with the tablet thing, I think they jumped the gun. Well, I take it back. Wii U came out during the tablet big craze, so I can understand why they just didn't do good.
Yeah, but
But
the Wii.
yeah.
Sorry.
anyway, I, I think I don't think they even break. I don't think they'll even break even. Honestly, I could see them doing if whatever they decide. I could see just only be releasing like the big major cities first, like New York, LA, Chicago, Tokyo, stuff like that. And I think see how it'll go.
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't think they'll mass produce a lot. Even when it come out, because I feel like the COVID is always gonna be here from now on. So I think they'll probably ship out if they decide to like so many. I do feel if they really want to catch our eye, that the design got to like instantly catch our eye. It got to be like, yo, that is like really fly. Let me look into this more. I feel that the design, the specs and all that, it's Apple. Of course, they're gonna have the spec stuff down, but to the average gamer, I should say, no disrespect, most of us won't even care or actually even know about the specs of stuff. Really,
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
said most of us, not
Yeah.
all of us. Well, I'm not saying most of us, but a good amount. Like when I was in the PS5 Xbox, next Xbox X system, I was completely lost. All I recognized was like 4K, playing 4K and Blu-ray and the gigabyte. That's it. All the other stuff, I have no idea what I was looking at or reading. So that's why I say they gotta really just hit us with like a design, different the colors, real futuristic. Like that's how I feel they can catch everybody eye with it.
All right. Anybody? Any thoughts from anybody else on it?
I
I
just
got
think
nothing.
that I honestly really just think I mean, it's probably just gonna like play more to like the whole, I guess, the Apple Arcade thing that they had been pushing like the past year or so. So like I'm guessing it's supposed to be more geared toward that and the more mobile gaming market, which I don't think is necessarily a bad idea, but because it's Apple, it's like I don't know, like if they're really going to bring anything like new to it, like outside of just it being Apple, because basically people just buy Apple just because it's Apple. So, I mean, I honestly I can really care less about it. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't see it really bringing anything new to the industry or anything like that. I don't know if just them just kind of just throwing their hat in to kind of just see what happens because they're Apple or whatever. I don't know. because I mean they have like the Apple TV thing, which probably has like a couple of decent shows or whatever, but I'm not gonna like invest in that already with all the stuff that they streaming options that they have and whatnot. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it could possibly work. Cloud gaming has kind of been, started becoming a bit of a staple. So there could be something there. Like I'm not gonna completely shit on the idea. Like even though like I am not an Apple fan, but I'm not gonna crap on the idea because I think there's a market for it. So you just kind of have to wait and see what it does, and kind of just kind of piggyback off what Jensen is saying. It's like I think what has to catch the eye is gonna be the overall design. Like, what is this thing gonna look like? Because I mean, aside from specs, which people love to bring up a lot of time, whatever, a lot of people really dwell on the aesthetic of
I
how the thing is going to look. So it's like if that aesthetic ain't popping right off rip, then it's kind of like I don't know. But then again, it's like now you're trying to kind of divert eyes away from again the big three: Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. So it's they're gonna have to do something to kind of catch extra eyes, because right now, like Sony and Microsoft, and well, I still say Nintendo because Nintendo is still Nintendo at the end of the day, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna leave them out the equation, but it's they're gonna have to really do something to kind of divert attention, at least some attention away from that, because the big stuff right now is the PS5 and the Series X right now. So
Yeah. We see, and I feel like we need to have a Nintendo topic. Maybe we can put that on because for next time because
uh well,
I
I mean
agree.
we're still talking gaming. I mean, they did release something, I think it was yesterday or today.
Well, I don't want to talk about it too much because I want to talk about the Xbox event.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
definitely think we need to talk about Nintendo because I agree with you. Again, well, I guess really quick, not to take anything away from the Switch because honestly, the concept is dope, but there's a lot of shortcomings with it, and them still the online community is still, in my opinion, really really lacking. Um,
Hmm.
and I just think that there's a lot of things that Nintendo needs to do if they're truly going to be like super compatible with these next gen consoles that are coming out, from Sony and Microsoft. But I won't. That'll be all I say about it from that
Hmm.
perspective.
Yeah, and I
Um,
honestly think that. Oop,
no, I was going to say a really quick thing about the Apple console. I'm not an Apple fan either. Um, I don't know why Apple is trying to get into this race now. I agree with Kyle and Jensen about the aesthetic being nice, but I also feel like Apple has to bring something else that the other consoles aren't. The Switch is popular because that shit's portable. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
can take. I really feel like that's the super appeal of the Nintendo Switch. You can play that shit in the airport. You know what I'm saying? You can play at the doctor's office. That's one of the unique things about the Switch. Apple's going to have to come out with something that truly separates it and make you say, okay, I think I can get that. And I don't know, I with everything that the other consoles already have, I honestly don't know how they're going to set themselves apart at this stage in the game. Like their graphics are going to have to be on point. What's their catalog going to look like? I mean, and Microsoft is already, as we all, if you haven't heard, or maybe you guys know, with them getting ready to morph Game Pass once again, and they're opening it up where now you're going to be able to play a lot of games on your phone. Like a lot of like console kind of games are going to be available on mobile. Like they're moving into all kind of platforms. So I don't know what Apple could do that could divert attention away from the big three at this point in the game. But maybe that crack will give them some ideas on how to set themselves apart. I personally don't see it, but that's just me. That's my 2 cents.
yeah, yeah, and I completely agree. Honestly, like what you're saying, Tiffany, because I'm not even really interested in the PS5 to be quite honest about it. Like, I saw gameplay of Ghost of Tsushima, and it's it's a perfectly 4K streaming game. It's like absolutely amazing,
Mhm.
and it's almost like I don't know. I watch some gameplay and I'm just like, how do you get better than this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And why do we need to get better than this? Like this
Good
is
question.
amazing, and I don't because we look at like how long Sony's been in the game. Look at how long Xbox has been in the game. Look at Nintendo, how
Yeah.
long they've been in the game. They have support from third party companies. There are people that specifically make games exclusively for PlayStation, exclusively for Xbox. Like these business deals have been made long time ago, years and years ago, decades ago, and I like I have no idea what Apple is trying to bring to like the to the conversation. Saying about having their own gaming console. Like I would think that they would try to provide third party support for the other gaming consoles before they would do their own. Because I'm just
That
not
would
really
be.
sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was so interesting, right? I have no idea what Apple could bring to the table on that, and if it's anything like their I don't know, like their computer products, they're going to be probably very easy to break and extremely expensive, and you'll have to buy separate like um what is it they had Apple Care. Like you'll have to buy like separate Apple Care to fix your console. Like I just see it being a complete mess.
Wait,
To
you
just
have to
yeah,
buy support?
you have yeah. For if you get an Apple product, you have to buy Apple Care
Really?
separately. Yes,
Are
yes,
you serious? So if I have a problem with my phone or if something's not working or whatever, I can't just. I have to pay for. Oh,
yeah.
no,
Or
okay.
So
you can
no, so
take
this
that to
is
your phone provider and
yeah,
get
yeah,
insurance. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I
right.
thought it
you
was
you
something.
can get
Okay.
insurance through I guess both.
It's
I
like
have mine.
insurance,
I have
basically, and it
mine
gives
through
you.
like
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I have
All right.
mine
I
through
misunderstood.
AT&T.
I'm sorry.
No, no,
I
because
see what you're saying. It's like they come with a console and you have to like pay for Apple Care to help
mhm.
you with your console. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
So with
you don't have
me,
to do that with Microsoft. So,
right, right. There's so many other things that are so much that other companies are doing so much better. Like I'm probably kind of salty because I bought a computer for $2,000 and Apple Care was $300+ for it. So yeah, I'm just kind of salty about that. But
that's
I
tough.
just I just feel like what I'm saying, like Apple just kind of needs to just stick to where it is and not really cross over into the gaming world because I don't think that they're gonna. I don't feel like they like know what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It feels kind of like they're running face first into a jump kick right now.
So I guess we
And
just
me
have
as
to see. We have to see what they come out with. I don't know how. I just don't know how you're gonna compete with these companies that have been, experts in gaming for decades. Like I don't see how they're gonna do it, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they
I
might,
mean,
but
hey,
mm,
we can't really say much. I mean, folks said the same thing about Sony when they threw their hat in the ring. So,
okay. Um. So really
but
quick, we're gonna switch gears. I'm sorry to cut off. We only have a little bit less time left in this segment, and I definitely wanted to mention that Microsoft or Xbox is having sounds like a game reveal event this coming Friday, which we are going to stream in Planet live, hopefully. Um, I obviously, as everybody here on the phone knows, or if you don't know, you're about to find out. Obviously, I am an Xbox owner. Um, I am Team Microsoft, although I've been hurt before. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. I've been hurt before. Scalebound. Woo,
Oh man, let's not.
I got
Let's
something
not.
caught in my
Let's not.
throat.
Let's not.
I got something caught in my throat right
I,
there.
I'm
Um,
echoing really bad. I'm echoing really
but
hello,
badly from my
darkness,
end.
my old friend.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
I've been hurt before. So, but I am looking forward to it. For me myself personally, um, I've been waiting for Xbox to reveal games after they bought all these studios. About what I think it's been 3 years now, maybe four. When they
Um,
what has it
it's
been
been
four?
about 3 years.
Has
No,
it
it's
been
been about
three?
3 years. It's been
So
about three
I
years.
am, we're at about that time where we could start seeing some fruits of the labor of purchasing some of these gaming companies. And I'm looking forward to hopefully what they're going to be coming out with. I know they're definitely going to be demoing the new Halo, which I know I know Kyle does not care about, but I do because I have played every single Halo, and we got to finish this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Cortana is a villain, and I'm interested to see where they're gonna go with it. I read that they're going to be showcasing um, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice 2, which is a Xbox exclusive, which I did not know when I played the first one. I thought it was on both consoles, but maybe the second one is an exclusive if the
No,
first one wasn't.
no, the first one. No, the first one was multi-platform. The first one was on PS4 as well.
Okay, so this one
This this
apparently is
this
supposed
was
to be an
before.
exclusive.
This was before Microsoft actually outright bought Ninja Theory.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
So the second will be exclusive.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So there's been rumor because the first game, I don't know if anybody here has played it, but the first game was actually really, really good. And I played the first one. I found it on Game Pass. I was like, you know what? Let me try it. And it was really, really good. So I'm excited for the second one.
I don't really
There's
know how you're going to make a sequel to it, though.
what'd you say?
I was just muttering to myself that I don't really know how you're going to make a sequel to it.
Well, when you realize that what her fight was against and the fact that she apparently is supposed to be a warrior in a more important war, there could be just her continuing her journey into what started, which honestly, spoiler alert if anybody, I know it's old, but whatever. I honestly thought she was going to save her love. I think I was a little disappointed that didn't happen. But then I realized that the game wasn't about saving him. It was about honestly her coming to terms with what happened to her. So I'm interested. So now that she's gotten control of that, and the darkness doesn't really own her, I actually am interested on what they do with the second game. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, hopefully they keep it good like they did the first one. Um, Supposedly Fable 4, maybe. Which, wow, if that's real. Okay, has anybody played Fable on this?
I have played Fable. I
How do you
love
feel
Fable
about
3.
that? How do you feel about a possible Fable 4?
I would love a possible Fable 4, as long as they don't do that bull that they pulled in Fable 3.
Can you tell some of the listeners what you talk about so anybody?
All right, so for those of you who have never played Fable 3, they tell you, hey, in 1 year, 365 days, this giant eldritch abomination is going to come. Now that you're king, in 365 days, 1 year, this giant ancient eldritch abomination called the Crawler is going to come to your country and wreck your crap, unless you build up. Just wreck all of the shit. Unless you build up an army to stop him. But if you do all the mean things that you need to do to get enough money, you're going to make all of your people suffer. So most players are like, okay, that's 365 days. I'm a hero. I can totally do that. I can totally build up the money my 365 days. But then after you've only played for like a week and a half, they just skip to the end of the year. You're like,
Yep.
I had time.
Yep.
Which is why I, for one, flat just cheated. I just raked all the prices. I just raked all the prices up for the houses. Taped the forward button to the moving forward button to my controller up, and went to bed and just left it with my character walking into a wall so I could just collect all the money. and then just woke up, put the money back, put the rent back to free. Like, hey, look, everyone's happy, and I have enough money to beat the Crawler. Oh, it's good to be a good king. Sap.
And see, Fable was a really good. It's not really a time jump is not the word I'm looking for, but that's the best word I can describe it. Like it did a lot of things in real time. So the fact that it just automatically did that jump, it was like, wait a minute, I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like we there already. It's been a year already. Like I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So
it took away player choice, and that's never a good thing.
Yes, I agree. So I agree with you about if they allow Fable 4 to be kind of what it was in 1 and 2, and kind of 3 without that BS,
Yeah.
then I think it'll be a truly amazing game, especially with the graphics that we have now and the things that are going on right now. I think if Fable 4 is real, if the rumor turns out to be true,
Yes.
and it's an exclusive, um, for anybody who played Fable back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like when it was on, 360 and whatever, it'll be, honestly, it could be a game changer, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So,
Also, I do hope that we get to kill more cosmic horrors. I don't know why, but it is. But I don't know why, but that's one of the reasons why I play RPGs. For some reason, it's fun to look the physical embodiment of despair and madness in the face and go, "Hey, I'm gonna stab you. I'm gonna stab you a couple dozen times."
stab, 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 stab.
Yes.
Kyle, do you have any thoughts
I
on
mean, honestly,
or
Fable
anything you'd
might be
like to
one.
see?
To be honest, like Fable is like one of the things I feel might be might catch my interest as far as the Microsoft thing goes or whatever. Like my thing is just like, look, we need to see first party games run on like how they run on your system. Okay. And we need more than that. We need more than just trailers, which they showed in the first thing. I can't even call that a showcase. That was just them just like showing how games that's already been out run on the new thing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really see anything new. So this time, like we need to be able to see some new first party titles, some actual like gameplay of new stuff. Like not like we don't need to know like what's backwards compatible now and this, that, and the third. It was like we know you guys are backwards compatible
Yeah,
with
they own the market
everything.
on backwards compatibility, basically. Everything's backwards
Right.
compatible at this point.
Right. It's like we know you guys can do that. So let's move on. Like what are you bringing new to this system besides of how fast it loads and all this other stuff or whatever. Like we want to see new shit.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is like if they like announce that, like maybe I don't remember I think someone in the group like brought up like if they decide they want to do like another Perfect Dark, it'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Um, I think that they just really need to start focusing on the games. That's just been like my whole beef with Microsoft overall. Like I'm trying to get interested in what you guys are putting out from your like under your parent company. Like I don't need to see how a multi-platform game runs on the thing or whatever because more than like because the thing is like performance is not even gonna be an issue on either console. So like
Right.
however like a third party game runs on your system, that doesn't impress me. Like that doesn't impress me because it's like because I know I had a discussion with somebody when they brought up like Cyberpunk 2077. I mean that's cool, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna run just as well on the PS5. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a moot point to bring that up. Like I'm trying to figure out like what's Microsoft exclusive are they going to put out that's going to make me want to at least entertain buying any of their games, let alone the system. Personally, I don't even have to. I have no intention of buying the Xbox. I don't need an Xbox because I have a PC, and everything that they're going to put out on Microsoft Xbox is going to be on PC. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
point in me buying an Xbox. But I'm still interested in seeing, okay, if I were in the market of wanting to buy an Xbox, what are you guys showing me that would make me want to buy one? That's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming from at it. And so far, like I still haven't seen any reason to dive into it. Like I'm, it just they're just not doing anything that's like really like that's being innovative right now. Like they're not showing anything that I really care about outside of just pushing, hardware specs, hardware specs. The system can do this, the system can do that. Okay, that's well and good, but where are the games? That's the question. Where are the goddamn games? Like, I'm
You
sorry.
know,
Like,
and one thing I will add on is, and you and me have had convos about Xbox, about how they really do a lot of great things,
yeah,
and but they really are terrible when it comes to marketing and advertising like gaming. Like I mean, because I mean, let's be honest, they're the if PlayStation and Nintendo has this, I haven't seen it, but they're the only gaming company that has an adaptive controller for people with physical disabilities so they can play. You know, like they've worked with people with disabilities to come. They're the only gaming company that has an adaptive controller. You know, like you said, they work really hard about becoming a universal kind of company. Whereas you know you can play their games on PC, but in my opinion, you know, because it's Microsoft, you know, so obviously that was coming. But in my opinion, I feel like that was a mistake because for people who own PCs, you don't really need to buy a console because you can get it all on Windows. So, but I get in
Mm-hmm.
terms of them wanting to have seamless gameplay so you can go from your console to your computer now to your phone. I understand it from that standpoint, but I'm like, maybe y'all should have did like a limited gaming market or something on PC. So, you know, it wouldn't have did all that. But I agree with you with the fact that they have done everything that I think a gaming company could have in terms of making a powerful console and buying, you know, becoming like a universal experience, you know, so you can watch all your stuff in better quality, your games load faster, you know, all this other kind of stuff. And now like you said, I think I'm finally there, which I didn't think I would ever get there. But I agree with you in the fact that now there's nothing left for you to do besides show us the game. Like there's nothing else for you to do. And I disagree with other people about I think this is why I disagree about like Halo and Gears because PlayStation has kind of their legacy games too. You know, you got God of War. You know, God of War's been
Right.
out. Who knows how long. You know what I mean? Gears and Gears and Halo is kind of those God of War equivalents. You know, it's the franchises that have been going on. I think you need those games, obviously, for players like me that have been playing them forever. And we got to finish the franchise. But now you need something else because you can't keep fighting the horde forever. The horde event you're
Right.
gonna get the horde eventually or come to a piece of something. You gotta have something on to carry those
Hold
names.
on.
And PlayStation has Ghost, PlayStation has Spider-Man, PlayStation has a lot of anime games, which me and Jensen have talked about. PlayStation has a lot of anime games, which hopefully they make more story games and not fighting because I don't want to be fighting all the time. You know, and stuff like that. But you know, you do need something else because some of these games are gonna, you know, fizzle out and rotate out as they should. You gotta have something else. So I think I'm finally there, Kyle, where it's like, okay, yeah, I need to see your games because you like you said, there's nothing else for you to prove. You're powerful. The graphics is dope. The load times is awesome. You got backwards compatibility now. You don't charge people to change their gamer tag names like Sony was doing for a little bit. You know, your history follows you whenever you change. Like all of that stuff, Microsoft has done flawlessly. But when it comes to showcasing games and gameplay, it has not been on point. So I think I'm
It's
finally there.
it's like it's at this
Finally
point
there.
I do not need to see another trailer for
Yeah.
a game. Like
Unless it's a trailer
do not
accompanied by
show me
gameplay. If it's a trailer with gameplay, I'll take it. But if it's just a
right.
trailer,
It's
you
like
know,
we do not need any more pre-rendered trailers, dude. Like, no, I want to see gameplay. I want to see what these new games are going to look like, what these new games are capable of. That's what I want to see. I do not want to see any type of just any mumbo jumbo about what the system can do, or like, well, look at this trailer, and then like go right back to like, dude, like, I do not want to hear about another spec about this goddamn thing. And it's like, like that's just where I'm at because it's like, dude, it's like even some of the stuff that they've announced that like, especially like the expansion bay for memory that they have, whatever. Like it really seems like such an overcomplicated
really,
way of.
really, really, you're not even
Well,
gonna
I'm
say excuse me after that. Like you just go burp and keep.
No.
That's now in the podcast. I can't edit that out. Okay, it's in there now.
you didn't even
And we
allow me to
live
even
over
get
here.
to the
Anything is
apology yet.
possible.
Like
Anything is possible. We live.
I'd have burp on purpose just because
Hey,
you
look,
didn't
hey,
allow me
look,
to
hey,
say
look. She
sorry.
said she
All right,
wanted a
all right.
sound effect. She said she wanted a sound effect.
Right.
All right. Yeah, I hear where you're coming from. I do. Like, I agree. The pre-rendered thing is just completely pointless at this point. But I do feel like, but to piggyback on one of the things we said earlier, the idea of just keeping franchises going. I think some franchises have ended, and it's good that they've ended. Like, look at Devil May Cry. There's the fifth game. It is a perfect ending for that franchise. I do not want a sixth game. If they come out with a sixth Devil May Cry game, I'm going to have to go to Capcom and fight every single one of them.
I'm getting it though. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm
Man,
getting
you
it.
already know a sixth one is
I'm gonna get
coming,
it
man. Like
as long as
they
it's
brought
clear.
they brought my boy back. Like
Word.
I
Right,
need another game.
exactly.
Bam, they bam,
Exactly.
bam.
I'm getting it
They
though.
answered all the questions we've ever had in the
Died, man.
franchise. What else
No,
can they do?
no. Cause I wanna know who is the mama. Virgil slept with somebody, who the woman? Who where? When?
We never gonna find that out. I can tell you that right
You know
now.
what I want? I want a Virgil video game. I want straight Virgil's story. I want Virgil's story. We got Dante, and we got the Devil May Cry. What was that one that wasn't really a part of the franchise, but it's a Devil May Cry game?
The
DMC
alter,
Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
yeah. And I'm sure if Capcom and Ninja Theory ever get back together, they'll come to a sequel to that to answer all those questions. But
They
yeah,
won't.
I need to know. Virgil's my guy. Okay, so we obviously we over talked about this topic, but I think
yeah.
we're kind of all on the same page about it. And because I mean, it's a lot, for obviously all of us game. It sounds like what I mean, and I think we've all been waiting on Microsoft to talk more about games. So the fact that hopefully they're going to do that, and I believe it's an hour to an hour and a half long special. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it, and I just don't want them to let me down. Just this is nothing but gaming. Like we already got the specs already of the new system. We know about the controllers. You can even customize your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we know all of that. Like it's really time to produce some games or not produce. It's really time to showcase some games and see what the console is going to be able to do obviously in terms of gaming. So I'm looking forward. And obviously, as you all know, like the streaming has changed. Like I said, Game Pass is changing, and they're adding it again, so it's now expanding to mobile. So a lot of the games that you get on the console, you'll now be able to play, which I think you can do some of the games now on your phone. But they're opening that up too, so they're rolling right on into mobile. So I mean, they're literally expanding everywhere, but it's just time to see. It's time to see some fruits of some labor. It's time to see some gaming stuff. So there was that. Um, okay. Yay. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y'all ready for this? See, Kyle, that's where the sound effects are supposed to come in. You messing up. There we go. There you Oh, all right. We have come to towards the end of the regular podcast before we get to a little bit of an open forum. And our last subject is Kanye. Yay. It's Kanye.
Piss off.
Well, if you,
Yeah, like
well,
old
I
boy
think it's
from
not time
South
for me to
Park.
go disappear.
You say what?
I think you mentioned it's time to talk about Kanye. I was like, oh, that's my cue to leave. If you'll excuse me.
We have come to the Kanye segment of our podcast, which, God, I hope we don't have too many Kanye part of our podcast. But Kanye, as everybody, hopefully all over the world probably know by now, Kanye said before that he wants to run for president. He want to be the president. He has apparently, as we all know, he's been a Trump supporter for years, and then he is no longer a Trump supporter. But we learned it's because he wants to run on his own. So he supposedly severed his ties with Trump in order to run, and then there was some controversy about would he even be able to run, because I think somebody please step in. You have to register or file by a specific deadline to
Yeah,
run
in
for
most
president.
in most states, you have to file by a specific deadline, which had already passed by the time he announced himself.
So the fact that he's able to run right now lets me know that either they extended it for him or he really did file and we just didn't know he filed.
One or two.
So apparently
We
he's
probably don't know he filed.
so apparently he's running for president and he had a rally, the other day, not, nice little
Mhm.
rally, you know what I mean? He's got 2020 lined into his hair.
Oh Lord.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
it's it's big too. It ain't no little too. It's like the 2020 literally goes from the left ear to the right ear. Okay, it's a big 2020, and I don't. It looked like paint, but it might be. It looked like a big old black marker, but it actually might be cut into his hair, like barber. Some barber lined him up and put 2020 in his hair. So Kanye's running and he talked about everything. He talked about the fact that Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves for real.
Lord
And
have mercy.
he talked about the fact that him and Kim might get a divorce if she don't, support him and all this other kind of stuff. Like Kanye went on a little bit of a rant and then he started crying about how he believes in this country and then and all whatever. Okay, so I want to know y'all's thoughts about Kanye 2021.
Okay,
Okay.
you know what?
Mm.
As someone who suffers from bipolar disorder, Kanye, start taking your lithium again.
Child.
Mm.
Summer child.
Mm. Like
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I do find a lot of the things he says absolutely ridiculous. I'm just sorry. I don't know because honestly, before he started supporting Donald Trump, he supported Obama,
Yep.
and you know what I'm saying. And now he was a Trump supporter, and now he's not supporting Trump. I still feel like Kanye West is a genius. I'm just gonna be honest about it. I feel like he's a genius because every single stage in Kanye's life, Kanye like rose to the occasion of that stage in his life. Like when he was producing beats, he produced some awesome beats. When he was writing poetry, he wrote awesome poetry. When he was making music, so on and so forth. You know, Kanye West is obviously a person who has mental health issues. Like that's not even a question. you know, um, but I, I guess when it comes to this thing, I can't support him. I can't. You know what I mean? It just I can't, dude. Like I feel like we had a person who was not fit to be president. No, well, we still have a person that's not to be president right now, and I don't feel comfortable voting someone else who's like mentally unstable to be in that hot seat. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Like I
Yeah,
I
totally
completely
agree. I
understand.
totally get it.
yeah.
I totally get it. And I I think I had to kind of sit through what he was saying a couple of times just to try to make sure I didn't miss anything. So it's the worst the what makes it so odd is the fact that the whole campaign that he was going comes off as like, excuse me, he comes off as like a manic televangelist the
Mm.
whole time. And like he tries to make a point, but then he starts rambling onto other things. And it's like even when he transitioned to the whole Harriet Tubman thing,
Yeah.
it's like wait, hold on, wait. The Harriet Tubman thing doesn't even have anything to do with what he's talking about.
Right.
Because he goes right in talking about like how like the music companies and all that or whatever like are owned by like like rich white people, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, what the hell does that have to do with Harriet Tubman
Yeah.
freeing slaves and then like try to downplay it, saying that he just had black people working for other, like what what are you even talking about? Like it, see, and what makes it worse too is that like you have people that's out here caping for him just because that they love Kanye,
Yep.
and it's like, dude, like, look, if you like his music, that's fine. But your boy is mentally unstable, and there's no way he needs to be anywhere near a public position, especially not being a president. And it's like, and there was another it was a TikTok video that someone recorded. I don't know if it was like after or during or whatever, but he apparently threw a tantrum on a young lady in the office in the audience that had a mask on
He did?
and walked off.
I didn't see it. I
You
didn't
mean
hear
kind of
about
like,
that. I'm gonna
yeah,
look it up though. I'm gonna watch it though.
well,
I
kind of
ain't
like
gonna
he
Like
got Taylor
it's
Swift.
something
He
because
just
it's
jumped
like,
on.
dude, like first of all, it's like it's like, dude, it's like, for one, it's like, again, he's basically, for one, I think he's just he's going toward a base that he knows is going to follow every whim that he has, the people that's going to try to give him a chance because maybe Kanye turned over. It's like, you ever notice how like it's always like a lot of people's like, okay, like maybe Kanye turned over a new leaf and this, that, and the other. It's like y'all grasping for every straw y'all can with this man just because like y'all want Kanye to be something he really isn't. Like the dude
Exactly.
just
No, he can't
like
be.
he can't be. Like the
Yeah.
dude literally needs a lot of mental help and he's not getting it. And the thing is that he's doing way too much. And the thing is, for someone that's like throwing tantrums, can't really be concise on what he wants to talk about. And then it's like, and obviously he's not winning, he's not necessarily like winning a whole lot of votes or whatever, being apparently being pro-life. So it's
And it really quick, just to really fast. It's not just
mhm,
that he's pro-life, it's how he told the story.
right. And
You know what
it's
I'm
like,
saying? Like he
yeah,
literally talked about something obviously that I'm sure Kim was flabbergasted about the fact that he wanted her to get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I ain't even want North. You know what I'm saying? And it was Kim. Kim was the one who protected that baby. She came in, like, it was how he told the story. Because as we all know, there's a lot of
right,
pro-lifers out here. So
right.
it was the story and how he told it. It's like, really?
It was how, and it's like, again, this is like stuff that it's like,
And one day
dude,
North is
this
going to
is
see that video. North is going
right.
to find that video and learn that her dad
It's
adamantly
like
didn't want her to be born. Like adamantly.
it's really nuts because it's like, dude, like you sitting in there listening, it's like, dude, this is something that you talk to your therapist about. Like this
Like,
is
it's not
like,
something
you
you
don't,
say
Yeah.
on national TV.
Yeah.
no,
That's
not at
yeah.
all. And it's like, dude, like you literally are coming unhinged talking about this. And then like and then you use your own mother as an example, which probably was a catalyst for him like spiraling out of control in the first place. And it's like, dude, like you are, it's like, no, like the man is way unhinged. He can't really stay on topic for what he wants, and he just throws out like these really just crazy ideas that in the long run won't really work.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the thing is that like, and the thing is, a lot of ways, it's like he's being a lot of the things he's saying is like being way too naive as well. Like how he goes to talk about like there are no bad people, just lost people. Like no. Like there's some pretty horrific people in the world. Like
Mm-hmm.
no,
Yeah.
we're not going to be that naive.
There are
No.
some objectively bad people.
Right. And it's like, dude, it's like, no, like, look, I can't with Kanye. I haven't messed with Kanye since like '05. And he has no reason, he's not giving me a reason to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, especially not now. So it's like, no, just no.
No,
Just
no.
sit down. Just sit down.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. I mean, like everything we're seeing, I just think is really just indicative of him being mentally ill. Like everything, even the fact that he was like, "I'm a president." Like even that idea in itself is kind of like, bro, you know what I mean? Like just what was it like? Last year you were about gospel music and you were about Jesus, and
Oh,
now this was a whole like that was a whole thing. It's like
And
literally miles away from politics, and now you want to be
and
president.
and
He's like the kid who is just living out his dream, and I agree with you as far as the confession. He's like somebody who is what he's been trying to maybe like talk to a therapist about, and maybe he felt like therapists weren't listening. And so now he realizes that he's popular. He got all this money. And especially after the Trump thing, people are actually paying attention. It's like he's confessing his life to anybody who will listen in whatever way he can get that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like when he talked about how, again, going back to the pro-life thing, where he said he would give families an incentive to have kids. And what was that incentive? Like $1 million.
$1 million for a beach baby.
What?
Jerry! Oh my god!
God, you almost made me cough up my soda. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to figure out where the money gonna come from, bro. What you talking about?
Wait, I'm about to die. Hold on. Wait. I gotta.
You can't bust out the whole. You can't bust out with $1 million. You could have said 100,000 or something. You go.
He said $1 million, and I'm like, where? Where are you getting the money?
Hey, look, if you pass that thing, I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be an arranged marriage, baby. Come popping out about 7 of them. This thing's.
I'm just saying, like it's out. It's like it's too outrageous of an idea for it to work. It's like, dude, like it's like, please, like how is we even gonna do that? Like we already like in such a deficit. It's ridiculous right now. Like it's like
I can't. Like how many people are there on the planet Earth? I mean, not planet Earth, in the United States. Anybody know?
I don't know.
At least. I know there's got to be at least 300 million people. At least
there are at last prediction 7.2 billion people on Earth.
That's Earth. Yeah.
No, that's Earth, like the United States.
Oh, okay. That's
so. What? So it went down from 7.7 because
I doubt it, but
330 million people at December 2019 census.
Yeah, that's
330 million.
Over 300 million people in the United States. And we already know that there's a lot of people out there who haven't been able to have kids and want them. People who want more kids. And as we all know, you like you said, listen, if you paying me $1 million to pump out a baby, that does not mean I gotta take care of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I can put that baby in a foster care.
Yep.
Get that baby up, but I'm gonna get that $1 million. Like, really?
Uh-huh.
Like it's
because I'm gonna become a baby factory. I just want y'all to know.
Hey, look, don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
Because Kanye gonna give me $1 million. I'll pump out a couple more. I'm just saying. You just gotta come pick the baby up.
For America.
I come drop the baby off too. For $1 million. Crazy.
Right. It's just like, look, I'm sorry. It's the thing is like Kanye is just too much of a radical in his own mind, let alone like everybody else trying to comprehend the stuff that he says. And it's like, dude, I just like, look, your best bet is to just stay out of politics and just work on music. If you want to do philanthropy, by all means do philanthropy, bro. But like
why hasn't somebody
hold in public office?
Put a tranquilizer in his drink and just drop him off at the hospital? Like, I don't get what she doing. We all know Kanye needs help, but let's remember Kanye is making an active choice to not get help. Like, he's not deranged. You know what I mean? He's conscious. You know what I'm saying?
But he's manic though. Like he's still very manic though.
Yeah, like he's making choices to not. I don't understand why Kim ain't slipped something in. I would have. I'm not even gonna lie. You have heard it here on the Planet Podcast that somehow I was married to Kanye West, and
he's getting his ass to the hospital.
On national TV about a very sensitive topic regarding our daughter, When
Yep,
he
he
got
got to
home
go.
at night, I'm putting his meds in liquid form in his drink. That's what I'm doing.
He got to
At
go. He
that
got
point,
to
it's
go.
like, yeah, because I'm sure that he did not clear that
Yeah,
revelation with Kim
nah,
before you did it. So
nah,
it's
nah. And
like,
for once, I have to admit, I don't really care about the Kardashians, but I'm kind of embarrassed for Kim because every day you got to wake up and wonder, what is he gonna do? What's today's spectacle? Like,
and
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
and
Like,
that, and that's saying
what's on
something
Kanye's mind
because of
today?
and
And
that's
you can't
saying
stop
something
him.
considering who the Kardashians are. So it's like
Right. And you can't
it's
stop Kanye. You can't stop him. So I have to admit, for the first time ever, I kind of feel bad for her, but it's like, well, you wanted a rapper, you wanted the money, you
she
wanted
Ain't
did.
that
Kanye's
bad?
baby, and
She did.
now you tied to
You
Kanye.
knew
So
you knew who the man was before you married him.
yeah, yeah. And
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 matter of
we
Did
fact,
all,
she?
and I'm
Did
sure
she
we
matter
can
of
though?
all
fact,
agree that when he lost
like
his
matter
mama,
of fact, like
when he lost
wasn't
his mama,
like
he lost his mind. Honestly, he
but
ain't been
like
right
matter of
since his
fact,
mom
like
died.
wasn't
Yeah.
like she married wasn't she married when Kanye first started trying to holler at her?
Yes,
No, when
that's
she was
true.
Ray J,
Well,
wasn't that
No,
Ray
no,
J?
this was like way after Ray J. This
no,
is
no,
probably about like
technically, no,
this
no.
is
Hear
probably
me out.
like two relationships after Ray J, I think.
No, I don't think
No,
she
well,
was.
here's the thing. She was married, but they were in the process of getting divorced, but the divorce was not
Oh,
official yet.
like after
because the
two
only other
weeks.
person I remember her being with was Reggie Bush, but I didn't think she was married to Reggie.
I don't think so. Like it was a basketball player that she was like married
Oh,
to for
okay.
like that.
Football.
Like she was it football?
I think it was football.
It might have been or what. I know like the marriage only
Something.
lasted like 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, because like it was this big wedding on TV, and
Oh my
then they
god,
immediately got
dude!
divorced.
They made such a spectacle out of that shit, and they got divorced in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my, you know what?
I just, I somebody had asked me if like what if it came down to it and it was really like Kanye and Trump or something like that. And I was like, first of all, it's not going to be Kanye and Trump. Trump is too far. It's just not going to be Kanye's not going to make it to that level.
Nope.
It's just I'm not worried about that. And then two, another reason why is he's crazy. People are not America is not going to elect a crazy black man. A crazy white man, we got history of
We
that.
got a
But
whole rogues
Kanye is
gallery of that about the
yeah,
longest Batman's villains. It's like
America elected an educated, established, peaceful, intelligent black man in Obama. America is not going to elect a crazy, deranged, bipolar black man. Like they just
No,
not gonna do it. Like the racists,
this
I have to admit, even right now,
I
the
mean,
racists might come in handy.
you right,
Okay,
you
to
right, you
keep
right, you right, you right.
Kanye out of office. That's
I just think that look, we gave Trump his time to shine. We need a black crazy man to put
no,
to
Jerry.
do an adverse effect.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
No,
no.
No,
We
no.
don't need
that don't work.
anyone
Off the
that's
Right.
we don't
podcast. No.
no. We don't need
You right.
anybody that's unstable
You right. You
in
right. You
No.
right. I'm
the
sorry.
And
You
you
right.
presidency
really
seat.
want easy? Like seriously, do you really want Kanye as your president?
I just hell no.
Listen,
I was just
the thing is,
playing devil's
look,
advocate. I don't want
Don't
his
play
ass
that
in that
one.
no,
damn seat.
Don't
No,
play
you
that
right.
advocate.
You right. You right. You
no,
Don't
right. I'm
play that
sorry. You
look,
right. You right.
no, because look, the thing is, we already had one. The current president already gave freaking Medal of Freedom to fucking Rush Limbaugh. So it's like,
I
dude, like
Listen, he banned TikTok.
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Like,
dude, like this
let's
is
make your TikTok videos
man.
simple.
Look, folks don't want to admit it. Like America right now is a running joke to everybody right now.
Yes, it
Huge,
is.
huge
Folks
joke.
don't understand. Folks do not understand. Everybody else is looking at us right now and like, dude, what the fuck?
Laughing their asses off.
Right. Like
They
what?
are. I'm pretty sure they done made like Japan lose composure at us at this point. Those are the most composed people on planet Earth. And I'm sure like they are probably laughing at our asses right now.
Oh,
Yep.
And
everybody is. Everybody is. Even
it's
countries
just
that are neutral, like Finland, and is
right.
laughing at it. Sure. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
like, dude, like we have so much things to fix when it comes to who we elect and how we elect them. and so on and so forth. And just the thing is, one of the things that we have to fix is just like the people that we get platforms to begin with. Because
Yeah,
the thing is that we have way too many people with platforms that shouldn't have them.
yeah.
Like,
Hey,
But
like
I
that's
it,
mean, unless
that
and
is
well,
true.
just like really quick to talk. So we talked about the current orange Cheeto. I just want. I don't know if y'all saw it, but he has now ordered for all COVID cases and information to be sent to the White House and not the CDC. So
What?
That's
oh yeah, I
really
read that.
dictatory.
I read that, and I wonder why. Since like it's still
He
since
wants
he
to
recently called
control
it
the information.
yep,
That's
since he recently called it invisible China virus again,
yes.
and it's just
Did you
like,
know that
dude,
China? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. The
I knew
Democrats,
it was
they're
coming.
trying to politicize the coronavirus. Did you know that?
dude, like
That actually ain't
never,
bad now that it's in context. It actually ain't that bad. It's actually pretty good.
I
But
swear, like
so I mean,
never.
we definitely. I mean, in case anybody doesn't realize that, I mean, we do have a dictator. We don't have a president. We have a
Hmm.
dictator, and
Oh
I
no.
know
I think
there's.
he. Some people may argue he's been dictator from day one, but I personally think he's been dictator since year two.
Mm.
That's just my opinion. He's been a dictator since year two.
I
So,
mean,
because
he's
year
definitely,
one,
yeah.
he got in there, he was listening to Mike Pence and all the other people. He didn't really say too much and whatever. And year two, because if I'm not mistaken, year two is when wasn't there another school shooting or another thing that happened
Oh
a
man,
couple of years
like,
ago? Yeah, and
oh man,
it
like
was
the
the guy
first
who bought the
two.
semi-automatic weapon from not Walmart. What's that other chain? Um,
On target?
no, not Target.
No, I
What's
don't
the
think it's
one that's
Target.
attached to Dick's Sporting Goods? The hunting. Oh shoot.
Mm.
I used to know it,
Uh,
but anyway, dude bought an assault rifle from there because after that, the CEO of that company like stopped selling assault rifles in their stores. I don't know why they did in the first place. But then I think when that thing happened and he kind of went off on the NRA about, well, why don't you just ban these? Right, when he did that, and I was like, oh wait, has he possibly come to his senses? And then it was like, nah. It got worse, and for me, I feel like ever since that happened, he's been in dictator mode. Like he pulled us out of the WHO. He don't give a shit about the UN. You know what I'm saying?
oh, not at all.
So we definitely have a dictator on our hands, and I feel bad for the next president because their whole first term is gonna be cleaning up. Like I mean, he blamed Obama for COVID.
The man's crazy.
He
It's
Like he
not.
blames
blamed Obama.
Obama for he blames
Everything.
He's still
Obama
blaming
for
Obama for
he
everything.
blames he blames Obama for everything. Like what was it that what was it that like
You're 3 years
he
into your
supposedly got
presidency. You can't.
blamed for something when he wasn't even president?
Right.
It was like
I saw
it's
that on
just
Daily Show. They blamed Obama for not being around during 9/11, which was in
some
2001.
Yeah.
goofy
It
shit. And I'm
wasn't
It
even
like,
his
dude,
damn
it's
yeah.
turn. The
like,
dude was nowhere near the freaking Oval Office. I'm sorry.
no.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
that
don't
actually
What
it's
the
like,
happened.
look,
hell?
it's
Yeah.
boy, it's like y'all like the thing is this, like, look, I'm not really that big a fan of CNN, but the one thing that I can say for sure is that Fox News is such a cancer of a network
Yeah.
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
to the degree that like it's gotten to the point where like they literally have completely it's just complete horseshit to just the highest order. Like
There's a lot of
it's so
Yeah.
there's a lot
mind
of Trump
boggling.
talking. There's a lot of Trump talking at
What happened to like delivering news just like without
objectively.
prejudice? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
what happened to just telling us what happened and we make our own like we
Right.
draw our own conclusions about it. We just know the facts and that's it.
Right. We don't do
Is
that no
that
more.
yeah?
Or
It's
they don't do
just
that no more. I'll say that.
They don't
So
like this. It's like the only thing we can really do is just hear the news from other people and get their takes on it because journalism is all but dead. But it's just like
absolutely it
you
is.
you you
that's
kind of
another
wonder
topic too. That's
you
a good
kind of
topic.
wonder like where all the real journalists are and like
Yeah.
and I still have to commend Buddy that the uh the uh the guy that interviewed the president recently on Fox News or whatever. He fact checked him to his face.
You are fake news. No. You are fake news. No.
So that's what I'm trying to wonder. It's like, is Fox going to become fake news now to you? Like,
They're
I'm
already
I'm
fake news.
curious.
They've been fake
Like,
news
we
since the Obama
we
president.
know that, but I'm just wondering if he's going to say that outright, or he just want to single him out. Like, no, you're not a real journalist with the rest of the network.
All right. So with that, I gotta cut it off there because we definitely are over our time. And we only got like maybe like 10, 15 minutes really fast, maybe a little less than that, to kind of open it up. So I do want to give Jerry time to discuss his topic. So, but really fast, I told the team I was going to do this little bit of a segue, which I kind of don't want to do, but I'm gonna. Um, the Will Smith Jada August saga. I'm just gonna say this: August, you were a side piece, honey. I know it hurts. Okay, I know it hurts. I know you was hoping that Jada would come on the red table. And by the way, Jada's interview was kind of whack too. Okay. I know you was
Yeah,
hoping that Jada would come on the red table and talk about the fact of maybe how much you meant to her and all this other kind of stuff. And maybe she struggled, thinking about going back to Will. And I know it ain't happened. Okay. She used you. I'm sure you ain't the first man that's ever been used by a woman. I mean, looking at your face and your hair, I know it's happened before. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't look right. But I need you to go to therapy, okay? Instead of trying to come out with a diss track when you decide you can't diss the main couple when you the side piece. You the one who got dropped.
with
So
Rick
you can't.
Ross of all
You sound
people.
like who was that? Who's that girl? Is it Azalea? No, who's that girl who's still in love with Idris Elba and keeps coming out with songs and stuff about him because she miss him and Idris married. Idris married. They happy. It's whatever. Okay, August. I need you. Just let it go. It was 4 years ago, baby. Okay, if that pain, I understand. Maybe Jada had that fire stuff between her legs, and you just don't understand. How she could just brush you off like it would. Maybe you gave her some good backstrokes, and you thought them backstrokes was gonna mean something 4 years later. Okay, but it didn't, and I'm sorry. But yes. If people can make arguments about if Jada used August or not due to the fact that he was younger. He's Jaden's friend. Okay, that Jaden
Hmm.
introduced the fact that he was going through whatever issues he was going through, but at the same time, August was a grown man. August was in his 20s. He was like 20. Yes, that's younger than Jada, but we all know older people and younger people happen all the time. So I can't really say nothing about that. He wasn't underage. That's the important thing. But he was in
Right.
his early 20s. And it's Jada. I mean, anybody on here, gonna turn down Jada in your 20s? Like,
Absolutely not. Ain't no question about it. Let her come my direction right now. I'll walk Mama Lou walk bam boom.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
nobody really. That's like
we've
turning
covered
down
that.
Angela Bassett. You ain't turning down a woman that fine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it is. So, I mean, whether she preyed on him, I can't really speak on that. I don't know. She didn't really give a lot of details. I felt like her little interview was whack, but because she just didn't do a lot, and poor Will. Will didn't want this shit to get out. That shit
It's
was
like,
private. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now here we are 4 years later, and now all this shit's going on where him and his family are literally just trying to live their life. So, August, I know you did this to promote an album, but I'm sure that's just whack because that entanglement track was whack as fuck. Okay, so I'm sure your whole album is probably the same. So I just need you to fade to the background and like become a teacher or something, dude. Like just be regular, get some therapy, get some help, cry, hug, and let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not cute at this point, and it's not doing anything but disrupting a family that's moving on, that's happy, and it's just they don't talk about him, they don't contact him, like they literally leave him alone to let him live his life. So the fact that he's doing this is I don't get it, and you coming off real bitter man right now. So I need you to just cut that.
well,
You know what I'm saying? So
well,
that's my little two
eh,
cents on the situation.
mm,
So, I mean, Kyle,
um,
we were gonna say it was my own little thing, my little rant. Did you wanna? You
yeah.
sound like you wanna say something.
I'll,
You wanna
I,
add
I,
something?
I'll say a couple things, just a couple things. Um, Yeah, August is a cornball. Like, buddy, dude's a cornball. I'm sorry. Like, dude, it's like just coincidentally you do this right when you have an album dropping. The Ariel Dirty Laundry or whatever, something that happened 4 years ago that you apparently couldn't get over. And it's like again, it's like it's to me, it's like the worst bit of clout chasing that you could possibly get at this point when it's like, bro, it's been 4 years. Like just work on you, just do you, move on, bro. Like it's it's like, look, whatever they was doing, it's like, look, that's their business. Y'all need to work that shit out. Cause honestly, and like you said, the interview didn't do the situation no favors. Like I honestly really I think in the end it did more harm to Jada
I agree.
than it did,
She
because
ain't
it's just
really, she
like,
ain't really answered nothing. She ain't really. Oh, it
well,
was
she
what I
on
needed, and I
like,
just like
no,
what
like Will had to press her. Like Will literally
exactly.
had to
No,
press
yeah, I
her
got into an
to say
entanglement. He
some
was
shit.
like, "No, I think you need to be clear. You
It's
got in
like,
a relationship."
no, you
Yeah, that's what I said.
relationship.
No,
Like,
Stop
that's
bullshitting.
not
Stop bullshitting.
it's like we not mincing words here. Like, don't, like,
right.
come on now. Like,
Right.
so, but it's just still at the end of the day, like, you know, August is a cornball, man. Like, dude, just it's some corny shit. Like, it's really some corny shit like he pulled, man. Like, you just
He give male side pieces everywhere a bad name. So to me, so I'm just saying, and I mean, and I don't know. We gonna move on to something more positive because it's just whack. Yeah, it's whack.
Yeah,
it's a
we
mess.
It's a
yeah.
It's
yeah.
mess. It's a
And
mess.
and
It's
I
messy.
and I honestly feel bad for Will because, like I said, like we said, it was 4 years ago. They already worked it out. They did therapy. They talked about it. They reconciled. They back together. They stronger than ever. The kids are flourishing. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on, and then you got this fool. Then you got him. Talking about something very personal and very private. And as we all know, Will and Jada are very private people. So the fact that
Mhm.
this came out and it blindsided him, and now this fool and Rick Ross, really an
Oh,
entanglement song
right.
with Rick Ross. Rick, you had an entanglement of, you know what? Let me just go on here. Let me let
Yeah,
me
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
let
I honest, maybe it's just because of my personality, but I did not care. Like, this whole drama going on, I'm like, guys, I don't care. I don't stop
Agreed.
talking about it. It just
Yeah.
does not matter. This does not put food on my table.
Yeah.
yeah. I just had to say my piece on that really fast.
I understand.
Honor
I'm
Jamal.
not
Honor
blaming.
Jamal.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, let's move on to our little last subject, which is new. I assume either it's going to be or it already is new release, which is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ronin comic, which has people
Oh.
very excited. Which,
Hmm.
and again, all of you, please correct me because I've read a little bit about it, but I might say this wrong. So it's either an alternate universe or it's their current universe where three of the turtles have died and one turtle is still alive, kind of avenging his brothers and obviously going on, through his ninja life. So it's either one of the two. So Jerry, you
So
definitely want to talk about this. So let's give it a little bit of time to talk about.
okay. Cool, cool, cool. So this was actually from what I understand and what I read, this is a separate series. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
guess from the current IDW series that's has been going on for as long as it's been going on. But so it's called Teenage Mutant Turtles: The Last Ronin, and just like you said, it's a story where three of the brothers have died, and the last brother is left to I guess avenge his family's death, figure out a way to I don't know, bring him back. I'm not sure. He goes on an odyssey
Mm,
with the spirits of his brothers, like going with him. So the thing is that this I guess it's a 5-part special series. This is where Kevin Eason and Peter Laird. They're coming back together to write this whole thing because this actually was a concept that the creators wanted to do years ago, but they never actually got around to like doing it. You know what I mean?
No, cool.
But yeah, but we never actually get a reveal on which turtle it is.
That's what I've read, is that it's a mystery, and people from the image I saw, which he's on. So I guess I'm gonna call him Ronin Turtles. Ronin Turtle is on kneeling on the ground, and three of his brothers are standing behind him in like spirit form,
Right.
and they're all like touching his shoulders, and you can see weapons from each one on his back. So people have been speculating on who they think it is.
Yes. Yes.
So
I
who do you think?
personally I personally think the turtle is Raphael. That is who I think.
That's my theory too. But okay,
Yeah.
I want
But
to hear your logic first.
yeah. But I mean I hope to God it's not Raphael. But I think the turtle's Raphael. Even reading like the first couple, they have like some images that appeared online, and the way he speaks, the way he talks sounds like Raph. You know what I mean? Just the way he speaks and just the way his cadences and how he talks, it just sounds like Raphael. I hope it's not. And the reason why I hope it's not is because I really would like for the writers to explore more of Donatello and Michelangelo. Because I think that we've gotten enough Raphael and enough Leonardo. You know what I mean? And I really feel like that there's so much in there from Michelangelo specifically, because it's like he's always the turtle who's always happy-go-lucky, and we know from experience usually those are the people who are in the most pain. You know, just from my experience, you know what I mean? So I would love to see a different side of Michelangelo. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I'm just kind of like sick of the party turtle, of the one that always got the jokes. He's always happy. He's the youngest one, so you know he's always like this big bundle of joy. It's like there has to be something deeper inside of Michelangelo, and his other three brothers dying is the perfect thing to pull out that other side of him. You know? So I guess if I was a writer, I would probably make it Michelangelo if I was a writer, you know. But no, this is like I said, it's a 5-part series, and it's going to be available August of 2020. It's not out yet. I think the actual release date is like August the 19th, if I remember correctly. But I know it's next. Yeah, I know it's next month. You know, and yeah. So the official plot synopsis. I'm just going to go ahead and give you the official plot synopsis. Excuse me. In a future New York City, far different from the one we know today, a lone surviving turtle goes on a seemingly hopeless mission to obtain justice for his fallen family and friends. Which is basically what we said before, but this kind of gives it more of a official, you know, solidifying plot. So yeah, it's like I said, it's August 19th is coming out. You know, the original creators of TMNT are teaming up to work together again. Yes, both of them. They're coming to work together again on this story. So
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and the thing is that this story was actually like kind of made out and written back in like 1987. So the
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, it's been revised and everything since then, but the idea and the outline and everything happened back in '87, and they wanted to set the story in the future, which would be then 2017. You know, so yeah, it's kind of like post-apocalyptic. You know, the turtle's a little more serious. You know what I'm saying? A little more dark, especially with the turtles being dead. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely like a darker story, and I welcome it, and I am absolutely like really excited to read it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Terrence, why do you think you wanted to give your opinion of why you think it's Raphael?
Okay, well, the reason why I think it's Raphael is because we've always, for one, it feels kind of obvious that because if you read the original Eastman and Laird comics, Raphael was always the one who was dwelling on the fact that the turtles are the only four members of their species, and that once they died, it would all be over. He was always the one worried about that. That was what fed his rage. The fact that he and his brothers were these unique beings who were only there for who only existed by a freak bit of nature and would be gone very soon. He actually broke down crying in one chapter when he was explaining how scared he was of the fact that he thought no one would know or remember them. And this story coming from Eastman and Laird seems to continue that theme because that would be the realization of his fear. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Now,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you
I
were
was gonna
done. Go
say
ahead.
now that's why I think it's Raphael, but if I had my way, it would be Donatello because we've had a dozen good Leonardo stories, we've had a dozen good Raphael stories, we've even had 6 or 7 good Michelangelo stories, but Donatello has never had a good personal arc.
I agree 110%. Donatello's that's my favorite turtle, and that's
Same
actually
here.
that's my gripe is that they just don't give him any love.
Hmm.
You know what, Cassio, you my brother G, because Donnie's been my guy from day one, and I do feel like they underutilized. I really do believe that they
Yeah.
underutilized him, and plus I'm a little biased because he's a staff user, and I've always liked long range weapons, so it's like, and
Yep.
plus he was a smart one. It was like he
Yeah,
was never one,
exactly.
you know. So
Yeah.
he was a smart one. It was like always like the smart character. So it's like, but
Yep.
yeah, dude, for sure.
I.
Like, but
Mhm.
personally though, like I kind of feel like it's gonna be Mikey though. Like personally, I feel like it might be Mikey. Just
I
on
would.
just on the strength that a lot of and it might be a red herring, but I'm going by how some of the covers looked, and you kind of see like the more prominent weapon, like
Yeah.
the more prominent weapons shown, which is the scythe, the staff, and the sword. You don't
Yeah.
really see the
The
chucks
nunchucks,
very
right?
much, and like that's what's making me think like it's probably more than likely going to be Mikey.
Yeah, I actually saw a picture where there's a turtle like kneeling down, and it
Mhm.
didn't have his mask on or whatever, but he had nunchucks on his sides, like right where Michelangelo like would hold him. That's why I
Mhm.
was like, I think that's Mikey, you know. But the thing about I'm with you too. I wish to God, my wish is that it's Donatello. That is my actual like wish because I feel sorry, I feel like if we're talking about getting revenge for the fallen ones, we're talking about doing something for your dead family, whatever. Like Donatello is the smartest turtle, like you said. So I really feel like he could tap into time travel, and he could go back in time and he could reset whatever event killed him in the first place. You know what I mean? I think that's a possible like story arc. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like he actually saved the turtles. You know, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just, my vote is Donatello hands down.
So I just as somebody who I don't read as many comics as you guys, but I did grow up on Teenage Mutant the cartoon, obviously, and all the movies.
Um,
That's okay. You
Um,
count. You count. Don't worry.
well,
Yeah,
um,
you're a big
so
You are valid.
I was gonna say I don't have a lot of turtle comic knowledge, but I do have cartoon and like movie knowledge. I'm talking like '90s turtles movies, obviously, and the modern ones, which I kind of didn't.
Oh,
They
they
were
trash.
they
They
were
booty.
okay.
They trash.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So like for me, obviously, so I do love all the turtles. Obviously, Donatello being a smart one, but I am definitely a Raphael fan. There was
high
just
five.
something. There was just something always about Raphael that I liked. I liked the fact that Roth was like no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And Raphael didn't have time for the games, you know what I'm saying? He ain't have, Roth just wanted to, and I won't even say that there may have been some times where he was bullheaded, but there were a lot of times where I felt like he was right about a lot of shit and nobody kind of listened to him because he had hot-headed moments. But he had like some valid points, and like when some of the turtles, got captured or something like that, like Roth was the dude that would come through and get shit done. And I
I,
guess from that perspective, if it turns out to be Raph would make sense. But I agree with everybody else in the fact that I think it's Michelangelo.
I
For
think I think
basically what Jerry said, which is you never really see Michelangelo get serious except for, and this was one where I wish Jamal was on the call, because Jamal did a review where Michelangelo goes like fight Splinter. Like it happened. Like, Splinter is doing something. I guess there's some hostages or something, and Splinter is telling him to do something, and Mike was like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like he defied Splinter, and then Splinter got angry, and Mike was, defied him, and then they fight. And I don't read comics, but I remember that because my jaw dropped. Like, really? Michelangelo, defies Splinter and is fighting, and you never really see a moment where Michelangelo gets like super serious and has a moment where he needs to become like that dude. And it would make sense that they choose him. Well, if they do, it would make complete sense that he's got this now all of a sudden, maybe a sense of duty that he was able to maybe not really ignore, but maybe not be at the forefront because he had all his brothers. Now it's just him. And the way he can honor
Right.
them and love them and miss them is to avenge them. So Michelangelo would also make sense to be that last turtle. So it's a very interesting. I might actually get the comics just so I can read it, and that's rare because I don't really buy too many these days. But the story just sounds interesting as hell. It's
yeah,
a really, really interesting twist.
Hey, if
it's
got my
supposed
interest, I'm ready.
yeah, it's supposed to be really, really like big. It's like a 48 page first issue. So it's a pretty good sized comic, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Thanks.
I'm really, really happy. I'm really excited about that. I think Raphael is the Kanye West of the Turtles,
Oh,
by the
listen,
way, just to put that out there. I'm sorry.
Listen,
And you said he don't play no games. He was playing whack-a-mole when they was beating his behind
listen.
on top of that damn
I
building in the
feel
first
like
movie,
you
boy.
just insulted
To
You
be
me.
can't,
fair,
you can't give him a better
hold on,
comparison than that.
That dude, they were playing hopscotch with his ass, boy.
To
Threw
be
his
fair,
ass through the
in the
damn
comics,
windshield and
Hurt my
everything.
eye, and I don't appreciate it. I don't
You
appreciate
right.
it.
All
You
right,
right. You
all
right.
right.
You right. I'm
To
sorry.
be
That was
fair,
rude.
the only reason why
I
it
should
was
have brought that up.
in that movie who got the mess beaten out of him is because they wanted the movie to focus more on Raphael. Because in the comics, that was Leonardo who got that beating.
Oh, word,
Mm.
word.
Yeah,
Makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
Like,
In the comics, him and Raph had this fight, and Leo went to the roof to cool his head because him and Raph be beefing a lot because they're both have very strong personalities. And then the Foot Clan jumped him, and Raph just felt terrible, and Raph just went off on a rampage against the Foot and abandoned his brothers for a bit, and he came back, and then they helped Leo heal, and then he just stayed by Leo's side all while Leo was healing, and it was really sweet.
Oh, see,
Nice.
right.
Jerry.
What?
Talking
What?
about
Look.
I don't appreciate it.
Listen. I'm sorry. Look. I was
No,
just
listen.
saying.
Tomorrow, if you don't see Planet in your list of groups, it's because
Oh.
I kicked you out. Okay, I don't appreciate you coming after my boy.
No,
That
but
was
no. I
crazy.
was. You know what? I was. Okay, you're right. Bad joke. I'll try to make a joke. I'll try to make a joke.
It's
That's all it
fine, it's
was.
fine, it's fine, it's fine. We're
You know
all
what I'm
still
talking about?
friends.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm just saying.
Oh,
I love Raphael, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love Raphael. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Come back here. I'm not finished with you. Like he was homie wasn't taking no stuff from no Casey Jones. You think you is, bro? It was like the first Turtle movie was my favorite movie of all time. And I just
The problem is
love
Raphael had
Raphael.
all the good one-liners in that movie,
He did.
and then but he kept on spitting them out right before he fought like either a whole bunch of people or someone who could beat him.
Man, look, you ain't look when they was on the roof about to fight Shredder and he just like flipped that damn side one time. He was like, "Weird Splinter." I was like,
yeah,
"Yo," I said, "Raph is
Look.
a straight G. Homie is a
yeah,
gangster,
basically,
complete
yeah,
gangster." You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? He just
yeah.
got his
Oh
ass
yeah,
whooped
like
by this dude. He
oh
still
yeah, like Raph. Yeah, Raph Brooklyn all day, G.
all
Like,
day, bro, all day long, bro. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even mess with no Raphael. I'm just trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Here's here's like the thing that I loved from the 2007 TMNT movie because it showed
yeah.
what in my opinion was the best and most true fight between Leo and Raph because it shows
most definitely,
because like Leo won the first round because for two reasons: because Raph underestimated Leo, and because Leo is a more skilled fighter. But then Leo made the one mistake you should never make with Raphael. He tried to match Raphael in strength, and I'm like,
right.
Leo, you know
can't
for
do
a
that.
fact he is physically stronger than you. What are you doing?
He snapped them katanas in half, bitch. He was ready for that shit. It's like, hey,
I know. I like
Raph-
legit. Like I
Raph
know it was like
intimidating the hell of me in the 2007, especially when all the turtles got hurt, and he was going after him, and he came back to their hideout, and he saw like what happened, like the aftermath and all of that. Splinter was bleeding, and I was just like, shit. I don't want to come in contact with that dude.
yeah, shit got real. Shit got real.
Yeah, it got real
That's
fast.
one thing I like about Raph because Raph has two anger modes. He'll either go berserk or he'll get quiet. If he goes berserk, you're in danger. If he gets quiet, you're dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always like that complexity with Raph because it's just like he always just his whole thing was that he was always the hot tempered one, but it's like once he kind of when he tempers that emotion and like directs it like correctly or whatever, like he's a danger. Like he's an immediate threat, like no matter who you are. And it's like everybody has that one nuance. Like the thing is, like Donnie was like always had like the most, he was the most flexible thinker because he could strategize a lot of ways and things or whatever. So he was the most flexible thinker. And Mikey, like, although he was more carefree, the thing is that his whole thing was that like he didn't take a lot of stuff seriously. But it's like, what do you do? But what do you do when you kind of like flip it with like those dynamics with the character? It's like, what happens when Mikey does have to take something seriously?
Right.
And there's been a few times where he does, and when he does, it's like shit, like it's like, what do we do? Like,
yeah,
like,
that's why him being the Ronin turtle would make honestly the most sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, so we have had a very full show today. I appreciate all of you. We do have to wrap it up, obviously, because we are at the end. So I'll give you guys like a minute to give your final thoughts. So Kyle, you want to just about anything we talked about, go ahead and give your final thoughts.
Just to kind of just touch on what the Microsoft stuff. I'm just hoping that Microsoft redeems themselves from earlier this year. Kanye need to sit down, take his meds. Twilight's garbage. It will forever be garbage. And yeah, I think that's about it. And yes, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Terrence?
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever Microsoft shows in the next time, I don't really care. I just hope is I hope it involves showing more of Cyberpunk 2077 because that looks really dope. Two, John Boyega, I do not blame you. They did for not wanting to do Star Wars again. They did you completely wrong, and I feel they owe you. You should sue them for breach of contract. 3, I really hope it's Donatello, but Raphael, best turtle, fight me. And yeah.
All right, Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, I stand with John Boyega on the Star Wars thing. I probably wouldn't go back to that franchise either if I was him. I guess the right thing we said, like, yeah, Donald Trump should probably stop blaming Obama for his problems. And just like try to fix them. I don't know. I'm not sure he blames him for his bad marriage. Also, I'm not sure that's the thing. But anyway, I'm getting political. No, I just want to kind of like say I'm just happy to be able to be here and like talk with you guys at Planet EGOBN You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of fun on the podcast. I'm just really happy to speak about things I really love and care about. Uh, Turtles, Last Ronin. I'm gonna admit I haven't read a lot of Turtle comics myself. I tried to start, but was never able to keep up. This one for sure. I just know that I'm getting the entire 5-part series for absolute sure. You know what I mean? Like I'm just really happy to see something different come out of the franchise. We're not getting the same cookie cutter crap that we keep getting. I'm sorry to say crap because that last rendition of the cartoon that they did, I think it's Nickelodeon, whatever it is
Wasn't
oh,
that
it's
Future Space Turtles? Time
so
jumping turtles?
bad. No, I don't think so.
Or
I think
the
it was still in
talking about the
New
one that
York.
you talking about the one
Oh.
that they Teen Titans Gold.
Yes, and Leonardo is no longer the leader. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what they did to
Yeah,
Leonardo. They
they
just
should
That
have.
we don't
I
talk
don't
about.
know why I don't know why they just
like
didn't take a break when the 2012 series ended.
the
Like
2012 series was fantastic. It's one of the
it
best
was great. It really
renditions
was.
of
It's like why
turtles
not
I've
just take
ever
a
seen.
break?
Yeah, just take a
They sh-
breather and then continue. Like it was such a good series. I mean, just to put it out there, if anyone has not watched the 2012 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I recommend it completely. It is a fantastic series. You know what I'm saying? I think it's probably the best like animated series of turtles I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Anyway, my name is Cassio from Cassio Logic. I have a YouTube channel, Cassio Entertainment, TikTok, Cassio Entertainment. Hopefully soon podcast at some point once I get my life together. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. That's it.
And then my last 2 cents. COVID's still out here, so everybody be careful. Okay, Florida. I need to vote Florida off of the United States because I feel like Florida is dragging us down on the grading curve of COVID. We ain't talk about that, but that's just a thought. Raphael is dope. Forget what Jerry talking about. Um, I need August to go somewhere and do something else with his life because what he's doing is on that bullshit. Um, and I have to admit I am looking forward to the Xbox showing. So I really do hope they give us I don't even know if anticipated games is a word. I just want to see something, and I'm confident that they'll do something because it's supposed to be a game showcase. So hopefully they show games. Hopefully they don't show like additional hardware or something. Hopefully it's or if they show hardware, it's a lead into a game. That's what I'm hoping that they do. But I have confidence in them because I mean we're about due for one. Because if not, I may have to eat my words to my pending teammate, and I may have to get a PlayStation because I need something else.
come
But
over to
so
the
with
dark side.
Yeah, PlayStation is killing the game right now. I'm just saying.
one of my friends is like waiting for me to get one so he can rub it in my face and say, I told you so. I'm just like, no, and for the record, I have nothing against Sony. I just want y'all to know I kind of don't like the community more than I don't like the console because Sony, y'all, a lot of y'all is toxic as hell,
Oh,
but
oh, oh.
I've
but
seen it personally. I've seen it, so like I will give you credit for that.
yeah, like and I know all gaming communities have their thing, but it's something about Sony players. It's just like, ugh, I don't want to be like y'all, and all that. But I mean, I may have to,
You can't beat
if
them, join
Xbox
them.
don't
That's
bring
what.
some, I may have to break down and and y'all just won't know it though. Like y'all gonna be talking about PlayStation exclusive. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be quiet. Like y'all
Mm-mm.
not gonna know that I got it. I'm not gonna announce
You
it.
will fall to the dark
Um,
side. You will
but
fall.
with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast. So I want to thank obviously all my people that are on the podcast today: Jensen, Kyle,
Mhm.
Terrence, Gary. I just said all of y'all's governments instead of y'all's handles. I'm gonna get that right one day. But I appreciate y'all taking time to talk. And for everybody listening, we appreciate you guys listening. And with that, we just want everybody to be healthy, happy, and stay nerdy. So we'll catch y'all next time.
All right. Peace.
Peace.